So careers without purpose are gardens with weeds. They grow, but they're not necessarily what you want. Whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are in a career space, you need to be very, very clear. I will use a good example. I remember when I was still in corporate, I got offered a very, very senior role at one of the telecommunications offices, businesses and organizations here in South Africa. It was a C-suite role, chief of operations, fantastic opportunity. But the reason I did not take that job is I always knew I was going to be a Pan-Africanist. And this organization did not have opportunities in other African countries, which means I walked away from millions of rands because I knew what my why was. So knowing your why allows you to go forward, but it also allows you to reject what is not for you. And I remember having the discussion with a friend of mine, and she thought I was absolutely insane. But guess what? Fast forward a few years later, a company called Vodafone, which you might know owns Vodacom, invites me to look after Africa for them as their client services partner for Africa. And it was the perfect fit. It allowed me to look after the regions that I wanted to look after: Kenya, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Nigeria, Ghana, South Sudan, South Africa, Lesotho. And now, if I fast forward even further, those are the places I've built my business. Got clients and offices in Kenya, in Nigeria, in Botswana, in Rwanda, in the United States. So if I had said, no, 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 I'll only go for the money, I would have forfeited the opportunity that my why gave me. So it's very imperative you understand that. So just as gardeners, I love this quote, just as gardeners choose seeds, you choose your thoughts, your habits, and the actions that shape their future harvest. You do exactly the same thing. I mean, this all sounds fantastic, but make it more practical for us. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to do a little case study. How many of us have ever heard of Mr. Howard Schultz? Let me see some hands up. Who's ever heard of Howard Schultz? Okay, I'm assuming that there are not a lot of coffee drinkers in the space. If no one's heard of Howard Schultz, someone you should. Okay, you should actually know. So I see a few hands going up. So Howard Schultz, in essence, is the Starbucks CEO. And Howard Schultz is incredible in his strategy for his actual business. The first thing he did when creating a Starbucks was say, what is our why? And he said the why for Starbucks is creating a third place beyond home and work. So if you're not at home and you're not at work, the place that feels comfortable is Starbucks, which is why the phenomenon of people meeting at Starbucks and having their offices and getting so comfortable with the couches and everything allows us to know that this is comfort for us. It's like home. It reminds us of our office, meaning you can work and live in Starbucks, in essence. And that's what they've done phenomenally well. Because he was so crystal clear of his why, despite the fact that he came from humble beginnings, what that clarity that he had gave coffee the opportunity to turn into a global movement. I know Starbucks isn't as big in Africa, but I know we do have Starbucks in South Africa, and lots of places in the US as well as in the UK. And even if you Google it, even in France, literally if you go into a Starbucks, the first thing they do is they ask you your name. Why do they ask your name? Because they will write down your name in your coffee order. So when they're calling you, they'll say, Vumi, your cafe mocha is ready. That makes you feel like you're at home, because it's only at home or the office where people will call you. But Starbucks' why drives that even further. So I think he's an absolutely fantastic example of a gentleman who knew his why. And when Starbucks then pivoted and had a different leadership, To get back to the clarity of its why, they brought him back to steer and lead the ship. As an entrepreneur, you need to have your why. That's absolutely important. Another example I thought that was fantastic, because I wanted to give you not just entrepreneurs, but also people who've had fantastic careers, is Mrs. Ibukun Awosika. So if you don't know who she is, she's an absolutely phenomenal woman. I had the pleasure of having an amazing breakfast with her, and I learned so much. And she was the first female chairperson of the First Bank of Nigeria. She's literally created a business called the Chair Center Group, and it was hard because she decided to go into an industry at the time that was very difficult in Nigeria, which is manufacturing. And her decision to say, let me do something that is challenging, because I fundamentally do not believe that manufacturing should be happening outside of Nigeria, despite the challenges with power. Let us make it work. And guess what? She worked her way around the challenges and built a successful business. So much so that she even co-founded Women in Business, which is known as WIMBIZ. Had the privilege of sponsoring WIMBIZ a couple of years ago. So it's really important that you're clear about your why. And her why was, how do I create a forest of opportunities for others? Excuse the pun of forest as we speak about furniture, right? That is her why. So that's why when she walks into a room, she's always looking to create opportunities for young people. It's why when she's in South Africa, she calls a bunch of us to have breakfast with her so she can pour into other people. It's why she hosts events in Dubai so she can pour into other people, looking at the opportunities that she can create for others. And the strategy has been very clear. She's focused on her manufacturing niche. And she's also been, she even focused even a level further to say, I will focus on furniture for financial institutions. And that's an industry people will rarely see as women. But the ability to know your why is absolutely imperative. And this is because, as I don't know if you've read the book by Simon Sinek, the Power of Why, is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. When we started our conversation, I said, I connect people from where they are to where it is that they want to be. That is the why for our business. So it's important that we are very critical in understanding our why, because people will buy why we do it, not what we do. So if you are very clear about what your why is, and that's the seed, when is the harvest coming? So what are you harvesting? Let's get clear. Harvest is a result of seasons. It's what you planted, your why. It's what you pruned. Like I said, when I walked away from that telco, the things that you say no to or you remove. And it's what you protected. So it's so important that you understand the various seasons. Because if you are an entrepreneur, there's a season of planting. So I've recently engaged in a new water project, AquaSave, for our foundation. And I am now in a planting season. People don't know our foundation for doing water. The client base that we're tackling is even getting our ICP, ideal client profile, is a challenge. We are in the full-on planting phase. But then there's also seasons where we're pruning. We've got to get rid of things. So when I decided to retire CEO of my business, it meant I had to prune that away. It meant I had to hand over the reins to Wendy out of our Kenya offices, and she becomes CEO. And I walk away. It was time for me to get pruned. And then it's what you protect. If you are very much aware and you're a gardener by any thought of the imagination, your plants have to be protected. Sometimes they're protected from weeds. Sometimes you've got to protect them from insects. Sometimes if you're at my house, the birds love to eat some fruit from my plants. Sometimes you've got to protect them from the weather. So there are a number of things you need to protect from. So when you are looking at your seed, what do you need to protect it from. Sometimes it's negative words. Sometimes it's having faith in the wrong thing. You need to protect it sometimes from your own finances. Sometimes you've got to protect it from your own hunger. I remember when I was growing my business, there was a season where all I wanted to do was withdraw money from the organization because it was having good cash flow. I had to protect it for myself because my why for my business was to leave my children with a legacy that they can continue building. And if I was only looking at the short term, I was going to run out of cash flow and not build a business that's lasted over a decade across the continent of Africa. So you need to be very crystal clear about what it is that you need to protect from. And then, of course, there is the season of spring where things are blossoming and business is going well. And it's very important for you to realize that blossoming only comes after winter's pruning. It's a season of renewal and growth. And I can tell you for free, growth is not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Being an entrepreneur is not an easy alternative. You need to be very much aware that you constantly are going to have to renew your mind. What do I mean by that? You're constantly going to have to shift your mental thinking to adapt for what's on ground now. A good example is even now with my business. AI is taking over so much. I've gone to a number of AI workshops, but tomorrow I go to another AI workshop because my mind needs to be renewed. So I know how to navigate my business in the current lay of the land. And sometimes you also need to realize that even when it is harvest times, it isn't always visible. I love the analogy of the bamboo tree. So if you know the bamboo tree from Far East Asia, it will take 7 years to grow. So on top, you see nothing. You're thinking nothing's happening for 7 years. But underneath the soil, it's literally growing roots. And then in less than a couple of weeks, it shoots up. So if you're focusing on what's above the ground, you are going to say nothing's happening. But what the harvest requires you to have is resilience, is clarity, the right relationships. I can tell you for free, people do business with people they like. The most of my opportunities and relationships have opened opportunities and doors for my business. It's the experience, because not every seed bears fruit in the same season. Being patient is part of the process. So how do you get patience? There's a fantastic philosophy known as Kaizen from Japan. And its theory, in essence, is that it's all about small, incremental, continuous improvement. And it's often used as a goal for career growth strategy. So it's small incremental improvements of processes, of products, and personal development. What do I mean? Sometimes you're going to sit there as an entrepreneur and you need to learn a particular theory. You might say, I can't read these books, it's too much. So Kaizen says, why don't you get an app like Blinkist, where it'll give you a 15-minute overview of that book so you can get the crux of the learning, because you're constantly trying to improve yourself. If you improve yourself by 1% daily, by the end of the year, you've improved by yourself by 365%. And this is so important because a lot of us overestimate how much we can do in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can do in 10 years. So it really allows you to learn from your failures and continuously improve your skills and performance. And it's in essence a mindset shift that says, I will grow by setting small, achievable goals. So for me, this sounds great, but what's the practice here? The practice example in the case study I love is that of Toyota. I'm sure we all know Toyota, an Asian company that manufactures vehicles. So what Toyota did was very, very interesting. They said our priorities is going to be how can we be efficient through continuous improvements known as Kaizen. So everyone who worked in a vehicle just improved by 1%. So what did they do? The more they learned and they saw, they standardized their practices. So every single task was documented. So that way it reduced if there are any variances between how you do something and how I do something. They had meeting rhythms with every single morning on the factory floor, that daily stand-ups. So these are short meetings. Say what are the blockages? What is some of the support that you require? And then their key performance indicator became their lead time. They measured how quickly Toyota can meet customer demand, which was a critical factor for minimizing inventory. So as opposed to pouring out money to acquire inventory, they reduced that and said, listen, let's keep enough to meet our customers' demand. So you can see that the theory of Kaizen really allows for you to improve, and it also has financial merit. So all of this that I've said to you, if you had to say to me, Vumi, what is the one thing that you have had or done that has completely shifted the trajectory of your career and your business? And I would honestly say to you, it is having a career board of directors. This has changed fundamentally how I show up and how my business does. And there's some key players you're going to need in your career board of directors. The first is a mentor. And when I think of a mentor, I think of someone who's further down the road than me. So they are where I want to be. And they have the ability to say to me, Vumi, this is the route you can take. I don't know if any of you drive, you might still be too young. But if you have Google Maps or Waze, you often will hear the app say, in 500 meters, turn left. So it's telling you, it's giving you direction. That is exactly what your mentor plays. That's the role they inhabit. The second is sponsor. And I know people can be very upset with me because I'm sorry if you use Android. I'm an Apple lover. If I say to you, here is this Apple device. This Apple device is the new iPhone 23. Across the world, whether you are sitting in Marrakesh in Morocco, you are sitting in Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of Congo, you are sitting in Mombasa in Kenya, you are sitting in Accra in Ghana, or you're sitting in Quebec in South Africa, everyone is going to go to the iPhone store. Everybody is going to be in the queue in the sun, the snow, the sleet, the rain to get their hands on that iPhone. And this is not because Mr. Tim Cook promised us all $500 for purchasing Apple. It is not because Steve Jobs wrote in his will that everyone who buys Apple gets a free $1,000 voucher. It is because people's experience with the brand makes them advocate for the brand. That is sponsorship. It's someone who goes into rooms that you will never have access to, and they create opportunities for you. They act as your brand ambassador. You can't ask someone to sponsor you. In the same way, Steve Jobs didn't ask us to purchase Apple. It is your sponsor. Then, of course, your tribe. Your tribe are the people who encourage you when things are going well and encourage you when things are going not so well. It's important that you also have an accountability partner, someone who reminds you of what it is that you need to do in order to be successful. So it's imperative that you have that. Some people that have also helped me along the journey has been a coach. I have found having a coach fundamentally shifted the trajectory of my career. And I've had a number of coaches along my journey. From a speaking coach when I was sitting in boardrooms in London. And I remember, the bank I worked for was still Knightsbridge. Barclays was still in Knightsbridge. And I battled to articulate myself. And I found I needed a speaking coach to help me speak better. So that helped. Having a financial expert, especially if you're building a business. Who's the person that can ensure that you are financially doing the right thing? Then a transformational coach for me, really working on my mind and renewing my mind. Then last but not least, a dietitian. And you're going to say to me, Vumi, are you kidding? A dietitian? Yes, because my body fuels my ability to run my business. And if I'm burnt out and I'm tired, it's not going to work. And I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs burn out. And to avoid burnout, you need to really have relationships that support you. You need to be in a space of gratitude. You might not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. So finding spaces where you can express gratitude is absolutely imperative. And then, of course, being present, being mindful. A lot of the times we are so obsessed with the destination that we forget that we are on a journey. So it's important that you really, really look after yourself. So some of the things I do for my own personal wellness that have helped me is I travel a lot. And I travel by myself. I've been to over 60 something countries in the world. So when I need to just decompress and I don't want to be wife, mother, aunt, friend, I just want to be by myself and calmly listen to my own mind. I travel. I book a flight and I go. Spirituality for me is very important. I pray, I meditate, I worship. Those all help me center myself and keep myself well. Realizing there's a power that's much bigger than me, that is in control. And knowing that my job is to be still and know that He is God and to surrender completely what I think I can control. Then I see a psychologist. A lot of people don't look after their mental health. So it's literally my diary. Every quarter, I see my psychologist. I don't wait for something to be wrong. I literally will schedule it in. Sometimes there's nothing to talk about, but I want to make sure I'm not looking after my mind. Then last but not least, what I also do is I do a digital detox. So every Sunday I'm without my phone. No phone, no social media, just so I can listen to myself and find out how I'm feeling. Okay. Then another example that I love case studies. Now, if you've seen me now, you've already seen that I like case studies quite a bit. So a good case study of someone who, as an entrepreneur, built an incredible business, but it cost her health, is, I don't know if you've heard of Huffington Post. So Huffington Post was started by Arianna Huffington, and she was pushing herself so hard that she collapsed from exhaustion. She founded Thrive Global on the back of that. It's just got a fantastic book. You really should read it. Because her harvest had shifted from success to sustainability. Is how you are doing things sustainable? Some of us as entrepreneurs, especially in Africa, we pride ourselves, I don't sleep. That's not a good thing. That means you're not an entrepreneur. If your business cannot survive a week without you, you do not have a business. You are self-employed. As an entrepreneur, your business can stand without you. That's absolutely imperative. As an entrepreneur, one of the goals is that you don't have to be in the business anymore because you've created systems, processes, people that can continue without you. If it can't, just know you are not yet an entrepreneur. You will have to grow to become an entrepreneur. You're currently self-employed, and that's fine because every business, like I mentioned to you, has different stages. There was a stage where in my business, people wanted me, and I was the coach, not having coaches from across the continent. There was a stage where clients would say, I only want to speak to Vumi, until I handed them over to relationship managers in our business that can look after them. So there's definitely seasons for this, but you mustn't be deluded in thinking that you are an entrepreneur when you, in essence, are self-employed. Okay. So for me, in doing all of this, you need to know what is the garden of your legacy. Why are you doing what you're doing? And for me, I started my business because I wanted to leave, I wanted to leave a legacy behind for my children, but also a legacy for my continent. There's a beautiful Japanese philosophy known as Meraki. And what Meraki purports is that every single soul that you come in contact with, you leave your fingerprint. And that is your legacy. And I think this was reiterated when Oprah Winfrey was speaking to her then mentor, Dr. Maya Angelou. And she said, "Oh my goodness, Maya, I've built the school in South Africa. This is my greatest legacy." And Dr. Maya Angelou chuckled and laughed. And she said, "Oh, my darling girl, you have no idea what your legacy is. Your legacy is every single life you've ever touched. Your legacy is the woman who decided to go back to school because she was inspired by one of your shows. That is your legacy." So as we reflect, I want you to know that purpose is the seed, discipline is the watering, wellness is the soil, and harvest is the impact. Know your why. It is the seed. Discipline is required. That protection of the seed is required for it to be able to blossom. Wellness is the soil. You cannot perform if you are not well. It's important that you look after yourself. And of course, the impact you have is the actual harvest. That is your legacy. I want you to remember that your career as an entrepreneur is not just about transactions, but it's about transformation for yourself and for your clients. And I pray for your continent as well. If anyone knows anything about me, I am very proudly African. And I'm a very proud, unapologetic Pan-Africanist. I really, really believe that if Africa stood up as the giant that she is, the world would fall to its knees in awe. So make sure that those transformations are for yourself, of course, your family, of course, your faith, yes, your country, but also your continent. And for me, the garden is what you cultivate today becomes the forest that future generations will walk in. There's a beautiful saying that wise men plant seeds for trees under which they will never enjoy the shade. They do it for those of the future. So I, as a coach, often am paid to listen more than to speak. So I get tired very quickly of my own voice. And this is my favorite part, is that we get to, for the next 15 to 20 minutes, have a conversation where you can ask me any questions. But if should we run out of time, feel free to connect with me. I am on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on X, but I'm very scared of Twitter. I think that's where careers go to die if you make one wrong move. I'm also on Facebook, but I'm not very rarely on Facebook. To be honest with you, I'm very good on Instagram. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll make sure to give you a free ebook that can support you. Okay, so let's get into the questions. Any questions for me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Wumi. This was perfect. Like, I have a note full of things you have said. I think I'm echoing. Let me get out my speaker. Do you hear me better now?
Sorry, Chinelo, you sound far. You sound very far. Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, it's better. I'm no longer echoing. All right, so I said I have a note full of things I have written down. The one that you said that really marked me is where you said we overestimate what we can do in a year. The way December is coming and January, and then we'll start with our lofty plans. Oh, I'm going to do this before the end of the year. And we have so much we want to do, but we underestimate what we can do in 10 years if we can improve ourselves by 1% daily and try just a little more every day. We can be so much more in a long term. That was really, really, really powerful for me. And I'm sure that the quote we all will be going with is if you have a business that cannot live without you in 1 week, then you're self-employed. That was also very powerful. Thank you so much, Dr. Vumi. So we're going to take questions now. If you have questions, please put it into comment section, and also you can raise your hand. I'm going to try to unmute just a few people, and then maybe one or two, and the rest of you can put it in the chat box. I've seen a lot of hands raised. Do I have, let me see. Okay, so when I allow you to talk, you can speak. So there's Ijoma. Ijoma, you can go ahead and ask your question, please. Ijoma, we can't hear you. Okay, so I'm going to allow someone else.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Okay. Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear
Can
you.
you hear? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I just want to say a very big thank you to our speaker. In fact, I want to say thank you and again, thank you. I love you. You have impacted me greatly. To Impact and all the organizers, thank you so much. I appreciate. Please, Doctor, the speaker, we are all aspiring to be like you. In fact, when you were speaking, when you are presenting, I said, oh, wow, I wish I'm like you already. That's an inspiration because I know I'm not there yet. So, what can we do to keep moving, following the whole challenges, all the challenges that surround we growing, we achieving all these hearts? Can you advise us to encourage us, to tell us, listen, these challenges are there, but still do it this way, that way, so that we can move because there are a lot of challenges along the way. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a very, very difficult question because what drives each individual is fundamentally different. So I am South African and I grew up in South Africa, and I was born during apartheid South Africa. So for those of you who don't know, it's when Black people were not allowed to own any land. Where they could go was restricted. The education they had was subpar. And I was raised by my grandfather, and my grandfather only could get to fourth grade education. So when I walk into rooms and I get opportunities to do my masters and doctorates, all of that, I'm very much aware that it's a privilege that the man who raised me did not have. He was most likely the most intelligent person I've ever seen or met, but he did not have access to what I have access to. So what keeps me going personally is knowing that the responsibility I have is to my ancestors, is that I get access to what they could never have access to. So it is my duty to care and be excellent and carry on going because they did not have that privilege. There's a beautiful poem by Dr. Maya Angelou that says, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. So for them, I don't have the luxury of saying, I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore. I live in a continent which in the year 2040 will have the largest population in the world. I live in a continent that the whole world sees as its breadbasket, but no one ever gives back to it. I don't have the luxury of letting African women down. When the opportunity is given to me, I have to think about all 600 million of us. And I've had to do it in rooms, though it's not easy, where I walk into rooms in England or in Germany, and I then am the sole representative of my continent. So I have to continue. Because if nothing changes, guess what? Nothing changes. And excellence for me is my prerogative. That's what keeps me going. My grandfather used to say to me, your surname is given to you by people much more powerful and intelligent than you. And your duty of care is to hand it over in a better position than when you received your surname. So it's their name that I cannot drop. In my mother tongue, isiZulu, a surname is called Isibongo. Ukubonga basically means to give thanks. So when you say surname in my language, it literally means thanksgiving. So it's so important that I give thanks for that surname, but I make it something worthy of giving thanks for as well. So that's what keeps me going. That failure is just simply not an option for me.
Awesome, thank you so much. I think it goes back to what you said in the beginning, that the first thing is our why. We should know why, and that is the thing. When we know the why, it's easier to know where we are going to because there is a foundation. So thank you so much for that. Someone asked that when you find out that you are self-employed, what do you do to move from there to where you are now an entrepreneur?
So the number one thing is the sales, right? You have to focus on sales because sales and that cash flow is going to allow you to be able to scale your business. What becomes also imperative is automating as much as you can. Often people will say, I can't afford a PA, right? That was my very first hire, was getting a personal assistant. But where can you afford a PA? Do you have to get someone from India? Do you have to get someone from the likes of the Philippines where you can pay $5 an hour? Start where you can. It is, if you don't scale the business, you are not going to have a business. And we see this so often where organizations literally fail because the entrepreneur founder has passed away. So that is self-employment. So if you're going to build a business, get the processes in place, get the people in place, and make sure you've got profit in place to be able to scale. So sales is the answer to that one. Unfortunately, I wish I could tell you there's another way to do it, but you need to bring in money to spend money to grow money.
I agree 100%. If you don't have money, you can't be an entrepreneur. You can't. There's no growth. So I agree with that. I'm going to take someone else. There is Pauline. Pauline, you can speak now. I'm going to take two more after Pauline. So, Pauline, we can't hear you. Okay, so I'm going to allow the next person, which is Lulu.
Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire?
Okay, Pauline, go ahead. I can hear you now. Pauline, are you there? All right. Lutz, can you unmute
Oui,
and
bonjour. Bonjour, je suis Pauline. Vous m'entendez?
your network is bad. I don't know if it's just me, but I can barely hear you. Okay, so Pauline, what you're going to do is you can leave your comment as you can leave your comment as a text. I think your network is bad, and we are going to take someone else. Lutz, you can unmute and speak, please. Lutz Talansi, I don't know if I pronounced that.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello. Thank you, Madame Vumi Sweli. My name is Adriana Talansi. I'm a designer. I'm fashion designer since 11 years. And my question was how to pass from the self-entrepreneur, so self-employee, from business owner. Because me, since 11 years, I'm trying to fix out in fashion design. And now I'm about to close my enterprise because I'm just tired, trying to struggle, but I feel like I'm more self-employed because when I pay everybody, I don't have anything for myself. So my question was how to pass from self-employed, because it's not entrepreneur now, is business and business owner. I don't know if the question was clear.
I think it's clear. I think I did just answer the question, but I'm going to reiterate it specifically for your industry. So I think what becomes imperative is you putting in place processes that work. So processes that can be streamlined is the number one thing. The second is increasing your profitability. So if you're saying you're paying everybody and after you pay everyone, there's nothing left, that means your costs are too high. So you, in essence, then have to relook at where do you need to cull some of your business? Who do you need to get rid of, or find someone cheaper who can do it? So you've got more money to reinvest back into the business. But of course, the number one thing to be able to scale your business is your ability to sell. Guys, selling is your superpower. Without sales, you're dead in the water.
Awesome. Thank you again. Just to put that out, please let's also listen so that we do not, when I unmute you, you don't come back to ask questions that we have already answered. And then, Lutz, we're also sorry for what you're going through. Don't worry. As far as you don't give up, your business will rise again. I mean, I'm not trying to be a motivational speaker. Someone asked a question that I also have, because when you were speaking, you told us about having a mentor and having a coach. And I was also wondering the difference between a mentor and a coach. So someone asked that question. What's the difference between a mentor and a coach?
I explained this difference as well. A mentor is someone who's like GPS, they're further down the road than you, so they're able to teach you based on their experience. A coach is someone who's got hundreds of thousands of hours in a particular field. So they are then able to based on the experience and what they've observed, help you formulate a strategy which you will then go and implement. A sponsor is someone who goes into a room and they promote you and they create opportunities for you. So in Africa, I think we're obsessed with mentors. We love mentors. What we need is sponsors, because sponsors drive sales. When a sponsor goes into a room and they say, listen, you buy from Hesed, that voice of reason and voice of authority can increase your sales incrementally, as opposed to you saying, my product is very good. People buy from people whose voice they believe in. So those for me are things you must think of. So when you think mentor, I want you to think GPS map. When you think sponsor, I want you to think Apple iPhone. When you think coach, I want you to think of a soccer field. But he's not on the field doing it for you. He's outside, formulated a strategy, prepares you to be able to actually score the goal that you need to.
Also, that's a good way to explain it. Thank you so much. I also needed that because I was quite confused. All right, the next person we're going to allow to talk is Faith Queen. Faith Queen, please unmute your mic and speak. The French community, you can also drop a question. I'll be happy to read that. Yeah, Faith, you can unmute now, please. Faith, are you there? I see you're muted, but we can't hear you. Okay, so I have to take someone else. Lorita Eheze, can you speak, please?
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good
I'm
morning.
Lorita Eheze from Nigeria. I want to ask, thank you, Madam Vumil, for your lectures. So quite inspirational and thoughtful. But as an entrepreneur in my country where I come from, there are so many, how will I put it? There are so many things that will make you not to be interested in the business, so many factors that want to put you off. And I asked a question which you will see later. In as much as how you try to move on, there are forces that are restricting you, most especially in the area of you see many people counter-producing what I'm into. I'm a CEO of Digest Food Concepts, and you see all manner of things coming, all manner of types of what you're producing. How do you make sure that your own products stands out in the midst of all? What are the steps, strategies that you need to take to make your own to stand out, to make your own to be acceptable in the public? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Loretta. I know Nigeria quite well. I actually used to live in Lagos, so
Wow.
I know how difficult it is to build a business, because that was the first country outside of South Africa I moved to build a business. So I know the challenges in Nigeria from an experiential perspective. But I think often when we are focusing on our product, we think our product is the differentiator. It's not. Your product is not what people are really buying. It's the experience. It's how you make people feel. It's how they engage you. Because if I look at something as simplistic as what I was doing, which is career coaching, the product was we can accelerate your career. But people were coming to me because of the experience they were receiving. It's exactly the same as the Starbucks analogy I gave you. Everyone sells coffee. There isn't a place or restaurant in the world where if you go in and you ask for coffee, they're going to say, oh, sorry, we don't do coffee. Everyone sells coffee. But why people choose Starbucks is the experience. It's the having your name called out. It's how they make the place smell. It's literally the experience that becomes the differentiator. I'm going to give you an example. Maybe this is a bad example, but you'll be a bit shocked to know this. So, for example, ShopRite in South Africa is a very, very poor store. It is not aspirational at all. But what ShopRite did is they realized in South Africa, they're probably number 7, 8. People make jokes about the experience, how bad it is, etc. But they reframed what it is that they did in different parts of the continent. They got to Ghana, they got to Nigeria, and made themselves aspirational. So the first lesson there is no matter where you are, you can pivot how people actually see and experience you. The second thing is to realize and study. I love what the guys in Huawei did. They spent about 18 months coming to Africa and just studying the market. So studying the target audience. Then they designed the experience for what it is that they were selling. Everyone says to them, don't worry, Africa's got Apple, Africa's got Samsung, who's going to want a Huawei? But they became the first and only company where 99% of its users are willing to recommend. So for me, it's go back to the drawing book. Don't look at your competitors. Look at what is your client experience going to be like. And that makes all the difference.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Ma.
All right, thanks. So I'm going to take one from YouTube here. This is from Luminous Era from Essay on YouTube. So she said, Doctor, on the point shared, automate as much as you can. Which sites or tools can we use to find or identify such opportunities or assistance? Basically, what are automation tools that you can recommend?
It does depend on your business. But there are a number of tools. So one of the tools I use, I know it's not available in the rest of the continent, is Hey Jude. So that takes a lot off my plate. So if I've got to check in on a flight, then my PA is not running around doing things that are useless. Like even now, I've got my daughter's birthday, and I had to find a pink Minnie Mouse. Like that stuff that needs to get off my plate so I can free my mind. That's one. Two, it's gonna sound silly, but if you notice a lot of tech people like Steve Jobs, like Mark Zuckerberg, they automate their clothes. So it's called decision fatigue. So they have less decisions to make. So they use their brain power for a lot of other things. So even with my clothes, they pretty much automated. I spend 5 minutes in the week, I put them out, and then my housekeepers just make sure my clothes are sorted for the week. Another tool that's been absolutely imperative for us is I love being able to track everything, and recently gone from Outlook and Monday.com to Google Workspace. So tasks are automatically created and sorted. That's been quite great. I love ChatGPT. The AI bots from ChatGPT are incredible. So we are not wasting our brain power formulating things that a template already exists for. So that for me has been an imperative. Working also on perplexity.ai has been fantastic for us because research gets done like this. So if I want to know what particular product is being sold where in the world, what makes a differentiator, what works, what doesn't work, how they've rolled it out, what are the customer experiences like, I get that data in real time. So the research component has been substantially reduced. And then we're able to take that data and pop it onto ChatGPT. So I pay premium for ChatGPT because I just think it's worth it. And then we're able to get and extrapolate data. So that's helped us an immense amount of times.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And just to add, there's something I always tell entrepreneurs that anybody generally in life, to make it in life, you have to always be curious and research. So it would make sense that any field you are in, you can just pop up to Google and say, oh, I want to automate my business. What are the tools? Or you could put your particular field, and you're going to find so many tools that you did not even know about. So always be curious about your business. Always ask yourself every day, or ask Google, how can I be better? What are the new trends in my business? What is happening around me? What are people in my business, in my field doing? What are my competitors doing? So be curious curious enough, and when you are, you're going to get so much insight. Thank you so much, Dr. Vumi. So just to put it out, there are questions I'm seeing that I'm not asking because Dr. Vumi has responded to them. So don't be in a hurry to ask questions. Listen attentively and then ask, because you don't get to see Dr. Vumi every day. So ensure that you're asking questions that are different, right? And then people that are also saying, I have something, can I ask a question? Yes, you can. Just put it in the comment section. Someone asked, I missed her name now, it has gone up, but she was asking that when you spoke about sponsors, it's easy to get access to mentors. You can, maybe not easy, you can reach out to someone on LinkedIn and they agree to mentor you, but how can you get access to sponsors?
Oh, that's such a great question, because you can't ask someone to be a sponsor. So sponsorship is earned, right? So always think about Apple. Why does everyone promote Apple? Because of the experience they had with Apple. So the experience people have with you is how they will advocate for you. So you have to give people a reason to use the social capital on you. So it's very, very important that your relationship building becomes imperative in order for them to sponsor you. Now, I'll use a practical example here. I remember my very first job, I worked at a call center in a private bank here in South Africa. And I had a client who literally would always phone at 11:45 and would always want to speak to me. And she was an elderly lady. And it was always a challenge to get her things done. And she phoned me one day. She was like, Vumi, I'm about to leave Heathrow. I'm going to be landing at Cape Town International Airport. I've completely forgotten my credit card. So please, can you arrange for the credit card to be at my hotel? I hung up the phone. I had to, back then we were printing cards in the office. Go downstairs, print the card, phone a friend of mine who was an air hostess, an SAA, say to her, listen, please, can you put this card on a flight to Cape Town, arrange with the hotel, get the card placed in her hotel. Now, you see, all of this is not part of my job description. It's not what I was paid to do. I was paid to help her with her banking. But because I consistently gave her that kind of going above and beyond in experience, one day she was sitting in a bank in the UK and they were having awful customer experience. And she said, you know what? You need Vumi Msweli. If you had Vumi Msweli, all of these operations would be sorted. I literally went from sitting as a call center agent at 22, 23 to reporting to the CEO of a British bank. Not because I was the smartest in the room, not because I could give myself that access, because of the power of sponsorship. How did I get her to sponsor me? Was answering her call every single time, going above and beyond every single time. I earned her sponsorship. That's how you get sponsorship. You earn it through every single interaction.
Awesome. This is a very great way to end. Sponsorship is earned. I feel like if we want to summarize this, there's a lot you said, but the thing is, when people experience you, like you said, people don't buy your products, they buy the experience. When people experience you, they can advocate for you. You can have referrals. You do not waste your not waste your time. You do not use so much energy in trying to gather clients. And this also answers to, there was a question in the comments where somebody said, oh, that she's in the mental health sector and she doesn't think that she can get clients. I think this also answers that. If people experience you, the customers you have or the few clients you have gotten, if you give them a good therapy section, they feel very okay. You don't have to spend so much time doing marketing. Those people that you have offered therapy to will go and tell others that, oh, this person is a very good therapist, and they will come to you. So just going off what Dr. Vumi has said, for you to scale, I don't think it answers most of the questions. For you to go from self-employed to an entrepreneur, for you to go from X to Y, for anything to happen, you need to ensure that you're well equipped to be able to have tangible experience, and then people can now experience the originality and the authenticity of you. It makes everything so much better. Thank you so much, Dr. Vumi. Personally, have been, I don't know the words to use to quantify, have thoroughly enjoyed the session. I think this is the first time I'm hearing someone from SA speak. I'm not sure, but this has been amazing.
No pressure to represent 63 million other South Africans.
Thank you. It's awesome. Now we have more South African speakers on this particular conference, so I can't wait to hear them because it looks like there's so much wisdom from the southern part of Africa. But thank you so much, Dr. Vumi. We hope to have you again next time on another conference. It was so lovely. The women are happy. We have a lot of thank yous, really amazing. We have people that have shared what they learned. Even the French people enjoyed the class. Also, thank you from YouTube. We are so happy. Till next time we meet, thank you. Please
Thank
give
you
her
so
a
much,
round.
everybody. Please stay
Yes.
safe. May God bless you. I know I couldn't answer all the questions, but if you pop me a DM on IG, I will happily respond to you. May God bless you and keep you safe and make his face shine upon you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bumi. All right, ladies, please give her a round of applause. I love that the emojis are coming. Thank you so much. God bless you. Please remember to follow her on the social media handles that she has shared. But most importantly, remember to follow all she has said. I am very sure that you people have done one conference or the other. You have heard one person or the other speak. The difference between you and others is when you apply it. So please, above being happy, clapping and all, ensure that you may not be able to do everything she has said, but take one out. For me, what have I taken out is also something that has worked for me, is to always ensure that people experience me in the right way, that people have good experience of me, because once they do, I know that it's easier from them. I'm going to give you a very short story. This is funny, but it is true. All the jobs I have done in my life, except NYSC, for people on people not in Nigeria, you might not know what NYSC is. NYSC is like something every Nigerian must do to serve your country after university. But every job I have done, aside from NYSC, people recommended me for them. It was not through me sending a CV to anybody. It was people saying, oh, get your CV, or oh, they will talk to someone and say, I think Chinelo is good, you should hire her. So truly, when people experience you properly, they will speak for you and they will help you. So ensure that in your business, some of you are very rude, very rude. When people come in to purchase something from you, you do not speak to them nicely. You wear the whole word problems on your face. Some of you do not also know how to be friendly. That's the word. You don't have a welcoming spirit. So people cannot recommend you. Some of you too, when you have mentors, you rush to go and look for a mentor. And when the mentor starts mentoring you, you disappear. They are going to give you a task, they would not find you. Some of you cannot also be, how do I put it? Some of you are not reliable, right? Somebody can say, okay, I'm recommending you to give X person 10 a truckload of something, right? Ship XYZ, and then you disappear with their money, or you ship something that is not good. So when you're trying to build experience and build trust, try and be a good person genuinely. Try and have integrity. Try and be genuine, because it's not just saying, oh, nobody is helping me. I don't have sponsor. I am not. I'm struggling. I am this. I am that. Genuinely, do you have character? Genuinely, if people give you something and say, do this, will you do it well? I know so many women here, like on this call right now. Obviously, don't be scared. I'm not going to call your names. That someone or the other have given you X, Y, Z to do, and you do not do it well. I know a woman in Impactor that has given another woman a job to do, and she did not carry it out well. So it's above saying you want X, Y, Z. Try to ensure that when the opportunity comes, you are prepared for it and you receive it open-heartedly and do your best. So thank you so much, Dr. Vini, once again. I truly enjoyed the session. We are going to be going to the next one. Are we ready? Are we having fun? If you're having fun, please give me the emojis. I need to see that people are happy. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Let's get to it. We have our product partners, people that have sponsored this event. We have Mazane. Mazane is an Impactor woman. She sponsored IgniteHER 2.0. She's back again to sponsor IgniteHER 3.0. Please follow her. We have Maison Yusuf, who is also going to be giving people perfume. So one of you would be the lucky winner. We have Skin Gourmet. I believe she's going to be giving people branded skin products, I believe. There's Baobab Swells, there's Smile Concept, there's Stressor. The other logo is too small. I'm sorry, I can't read it. There's Virtuous Path, and there is Nusa Scarf from Egypt. I remember that. So yes, people are going to be getting all this. So let's get into the good part where you're going to win some gifts and where, we are going to hand out some more freebies. People are going to get perfume. All right, so it's quiz time. We have heard something very powerful. Now we are going to play a bit. And as you know, it's the winner of this quiz is going to be going home with something. So get ready. To join the quiz, what do? Please, moderators, kindly put the quiz link on the chat. You go to slido.com, type the number you see on your screen, 293316. Please, very importantly for this quiz, if you type the answers on the chat, you are wrong. The quiz is automatic. So if you're answering on the chat, you're not going to win. You have to be responding on Slido. Again, I can't see the Slido link, my moderators. Please put the Slido link here. They have not put it. Moderators, please have the Slido link there, please. All right, the Slido link is on, so please just click on it and put the code. I need to see people joining. I think we can go to the next slide so we see people that have joined. Yeah, so please join the quiz. Let's join. Let's keep it coming. I have 73. When I get 200 people, I'm going to start. $96. Let's keep it coming. People should join. It's not when I start. People are going to say, oh, I didn't wait for you. You did not wait for me. You did not do this. You did not do that. Chinelo is not a good person. Chinelo is... So please, let's join so that we take this to the next step. Let's go. I want to ensure that we finish as and when due so that I'm really committed to doing things on time here. So we have about 14 minutes for this quiz, and I want us to keep the time. 193. So 7 more people, and we can start. Please, let's remember, if you're responding here, if you're responding on the comment section, the Slido is not going to register it. So don't come and tell me, oh, I got everything correctly. You did not see me. Yes, I did not see you. All right, so we are 223 now. So we are going to rock and roll. Let us start, please. First question, who was the first woman to become Prime Minister of the United Kingdom? Theresa May, Indira Gandhi, Margaret Thatcher, Angela Merkel. If you know the response, you can, once you see it, you can just read. Don't wait for me to read before you respond. All right, most people said Margaret Thatcher. All right, so if you said Margaret Thatcher, you are correct. Let's go to the next one. What is the average length of a woman's menstrual cycle? Wow. 21 days, 28 days, 35, 45. I think it's 45 days because, yeah, it's a woman with tissue of blood. Okay, let's see what it is. I don't think 28 is average, but let's see. So people said 28 days. I would be shocked if that is correct, but let's see. It's actually correct. So average is 28. Wow. I didn't know. I'm even learning for the first time. All right, let's go to the next one. Who was the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize? Oh, this is easy. Chimamanda Wangari Ellen Ngozi. Who is the first woman to win the Nobel Prize? All right, we have a tie between Wangari and Chimamanda. Let's see who the winner is. The winner is Wangari Maathai. Wow, awesome. Congratulations to those that got it. Next, what is the most popular social media platform among women? Good question. Let's know what you think. I also don't know that. I'm thinking Facebook. I don't know. Oh wow, Instagram got the highest. We have people on it. I don't, well, wow. So women, people love Instagram. I didn't know that. Nobody chose Twitter. People don't like Twitter. All right, the next question. Which event is known for networking, mentorship, and empowerment for women? Let's know. Not the beauty expo. That compound squeeze is very, very funny. Why beauty expo? Like food fest. You made it really easy. All right, let's see. Let's see. Ignite. Somebody actually chose beauty expo. Wow. So in beauty expo, they say empower women and do mentorship. Nice. All right, then. Next one, please. Which of the following can be an early sign of burnout? Feeling constantly tired and discharged from work, increased motivation, better sleep patterns, stronger focus. Awesome. All right. Next question, please. What of late? Me, I've not given birth before, so I don't know this one. The mothers in the house, which is correct? I think it's regular. I'm not even meant to be answering questions. The question cannot be audible. You're meant to look at your
Yes,
screen.
you are not supposed to answer question, Chinelo. You are giving them expo.
But I'm even failing them. So if they follow me, they will just fail. All right. Okay. Who wrote Americana, a novel exploring race, identity, and migration? Taye, Chimamanda, Lola, Buchi. Chimamanda. All right, next one. Which global day celebrates women's achievements and advocates gender equality? Mother's Day, IWD, Valentine's Day, Girls' Child's Day. I think it's Valentine's Day because it's a day to be loved and to celebrate. I think it's Valentine's Day. What do you think? Let me say IWD. Are you sure? Are you sure it's not Valentine's Day? All right. Some people said Mother's Day. Even girl, in fact, our women. Who was the first woman to serve as the Vice President of the United States? Condoleezza Rice. That's what I think it is. Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi. Please, nobody should follow what I'm saying. I'm just trying to joke with you all. Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris. Okay, so the right one is Kamala Harris. All right, next one. Which hobby allows people to capture memories and tell stories through images? Journaling, traveling, photography, painting. This is a very tricky one. This is very tricky. All of them sounds quite correct, to be honest. Let's see what the answer is. I think it's going to be very tricky. Photography. Okay, and photography is actually correct. All right. People should read, or people that are saying the question should be audible. Read our answer. Chinelo is not reading again. All of you know this one now. All right. What is the most popular financial goal for women in their 25 and 30s? Buying a house, traveling the world, paying off debt, starting a business. I don't know for you people, but for me, it's traveling the world. The house will buy itself. How that when we die, will not carry and go to heaven. Traveling the world, it is for me. Shan. The serious women are saying starting a business. I think I'm the only serious person on this call. Wow! So a lot of you want to start business. That's great. Which fabric is made from the fibers produced by silkworms? Satin, silk, rayon, chiffon. All right. Okay. This edition of IgniteHER is IgniteHER what? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's IgniteHER 4. What do people think? Okay, people are saying it's it's okay. Okay. Let's see what the answer is. The people that are saying it's IgniteHER 1.0. Wow. Wow. All right. What is the common method of analyzing a business competitive environment? SWOT analysis. It has to be pest analysis because there are pests. And what happened to? We can't see the slider again. No?
Can you see it now?
Yeah,
Okay.
it has changed. It's not like polling again.
Huh?
We're not seeing it as polls, we're just seeing it as questions. I think you need to present again.
Okay.
Maybe stop presenting and present again. It's showing like you're trying to edit, not like not like you have started. So yeah, maybe exactly you can see now it's fine. Okay, which of the following is an early warning sign of breast cancer? Itchy skin, a painless lump in the breast, headache, coughing. A painless lump in the breast. Which of the following is a key component of financial management in a business? Hiring employees, managing cash flow and budgeting, developing marketing strategies, designing products. All right, what is the name of the jewelry worn around the wrist? Bracelet. Okay. How long has Impact had been in existence? If you were listening, the director said it in the morning. So, how long has IgniteHER been in business? Impact our women. People should not worry. We're almost done. All right. Most of you got that one. When should a woman see a doctor for heavy menstrual bleeding? When it lasts longer than 7 days, after 1 day of cramps, when her cycle is regular, when bleeding stops too early. What is the answer? We have 366 people on the polls. That is great. All right. Okay. Oh, we have come to the end. The winner is Wambui. All right, drum roll for the winner. Congratulations, Wambui. I'm thinking you are from Kenya. Your name sounds Kenya. Wambui, please let me know what country are you from so that we can know what you have won. And right after Wambui, we have Annette Adhiambo closely. But that was a good gap. You can see her timing is in 2:55, and the next person after her is 5:35. So that was like a very nice win with a good gap. And she got almost all the questions. She got 22 out of 23. You are a very intelligent person, Wambi. Please, I want to know you personally because your brain is hot. Please reach out to any of the group of the moderators of the WhatsApp group you are in, right? And they would get access to you. I would let you know your gift, what you're going to be getting. Please confirm your country. I need to know, and then I'll let you know what you're going to be getting before the end of the day. Okay, Winnie Kamal, are you Wambui? Sorry, can you go back to the leaderboard, please? I want to see something. No, go
Okay.
back.
Should I share it again?
Yeah, the first people on the leaderboard, please. Okay, so there's Wambi, there's Annette Adhiambo, and Florence Oluwakemi. So please, these three people, reach out, let me know your countries, and do reach out to your group moderator. I will let you know what you're going to be winning. But also, congratulations to Martha and also Tracy. Well done, ladies. You all did excellently well. Thank you. So with that, we have come to a pause. We are going to go rest a bit, drink water, stretch, take coffee, dance, because we're going to have the DJ play us some music, so just go and rest for the next 20 minutes. We're going to be back by 11:40 for a great session. It's going to be a panel session. Panel sessions are my best. If you think that Dr. Vumi's session was fire, then you know that we are not here to play. It gets better. It really does get better. So I don't want you to miss out, and I don't want you to think we have come to an end because we still have a lot to do. You have 20 minutes. Be back here by 11:40 Nigerian time. I think that is 12:40 SA time. I believe that is 1:40 EAT. But shall be back here in the next 20 minutes, whatever time it is. I'm gonna see you later. Bye.
to Puerto Rico. Oh my love. I got it on you, let me remind you. Oh baby, I do for you. Every object, baby that's my number. I'm out. Why yo? You want my falabi? Over with the blood, every part of me. Seravi, mamma mia. School, what have we? No love, when I'm in shock. And I'm still asking you for more. Cause we've only begun.